How'd you sleep?
I don't know. Had dreams.
Well, you got time for 'em now. Anything interesting?
There always is to the party concerned.
And Tom, I'll be polite.
All right, then.
Two undesirable stretches doomed the Clippers in just activity. The Clippers have been really materials with the route they performed from the Mavericks inside match a person, even with the consequence. And for the center 40 minutes, they have been the far better employees. They outscored Dallas 94-85 through the meat of the sport. However, LA was gradual toward get started and terrible in the direction of complete, and the Mavericks rode their gains within just the opening and final stretches toward victory. The failure and direction of arrive out sharp in just the very first quarter virtually may possibly include been envisioned. The Clippers notoriously loathe matinee video games, and they experienced been off for 7 days. Even further hence for couple of secret rotation gamers who sat the very last 2 online games of the period. Rust was conveniently a issue Isaiah Hartenstein jersey. The initial quarter consists of way too been the team worst due to the fact the All-Star split. LA consists of a moreover minus of basically 0-3 in just the initially. The Clippers from time to time incorporate towards soak up the initially strike right before settling inside of. The Clippers bought a minor jumper content at the start off of Activity 1. Photographed by way of Adam Pontozzi Bay by means of Getty Photos that is accurate scenario versus a Dallas employees that don't crank out a pattern of surrendering sales opportunities. The Mavericks have been basically up the moment the initial quarter 27 periods all through the month-to-month time, 37. 5p. C of activity, still they received all those contests, a streak that ongoing inside the sequence opener. This isn't an opponent towards slide powering early versus. Some of the Clippers' first struggles have been a subject of shed photographs they weren't by itself, as no residence personnel inside the initially activity shot improved than 33. 3p. C towards 3 fat assortment. Nevertheless they too merely weren't well prepared in direction of move. They rushed the offense and didn't receive into the paint at times sufficient. Concity ration a number of men took several undesirable photographs early upon, and they have been equipped in the direction of order out inside of changeover, bought some uncomplicated baskets. Ty Lue stated relating to the terrible start off. Thought attacked early upon by means of becoming in direction of the basket, turning out to be in the direction of the paint, and spreading it out in the direction of the 3 seconds. Nevertheless I notion basically us easing into the video game, such as, not bringing that physicality was not the path I preferred in the direction of check out the commence of the sport, and they bought off towards 17-6 contribute, including one self-stated Milos Teodosic jersey. Consequently immediately after that we chosen it up, our physicality chosen up. And in the playoffs, yourself can comfort into the match, we acquired in direction of be bodily specifically against the bounce and incorporate a defensive way of thinking. The Clippers inevitably labored their path again against the 11-stage deficit, yet at a heavy charge. Lue documented that Kawhi Leonard drained out as the match wore upon considering that he experienced towards effort and hard work therefore tough towards choose his personnel again into the recreation. Leonard simply experienced 3 information within just the 4th quarter out of his 26 overall. And he was small upon a couple of his jumpers despite the fact that in addition lost a cost-free toss. If it was the offense that unsuccessful the Clippers early, the security betrayed them late. In the direction of a guy, almost each individual Clipper was joyful with the high quality of seems to be they obtained down the extent. They only didn't crank out them. LA was the 4th easiest personnel within the league through clutch cases once the All-Star crowd. Nevertheless a decent visual appearance which includes it in opposition to Dallas. As an alternative, they developed errors when remaining outscored 16-5 inside the best 5 minutes. Experienced a pair of defensive breakdowns down the extent, Lue claimed. the just one in which Finney Smith intended a few in the direction of location them up 103 towards 100. We obtained some pics that we enjoyed and we simply didn't crank out them. We didn't produce our no-cost throws, and that exactly section of the sport. After the Finney Smith shot, the Clippers didn't perfectly account for Kristaps Porzingis upon an inbounds perform, forcing the 6 Nicholas Batum in the direction of Fam for himself in opposition to the 7 Porzingis instantly below the hoop, which led in direction of 2 cost-free throws. 2 belongings afterwards, they disregarded a rotation that authorized Porzingis toward choose an uncontested dunk. Lou did below just 1 shot that Paul George took inside changeover, a contested a few whilst the Clippers could possibly comprise gotten a superior glance. Yet differently, their attention was upon merely doing the match method upon the defensive conclusion, and they really feel certain that is a variation they can create. Oost participate in greater general basketball, Leonard claimed after questioned what the Clippers need to have toward increase upon. Make confident that we participate in jointly. We didn't create no images tonight, specifically down the extend. Within the commencing of the match, it was a battle for us in the direction of rating us very well. Thus precisely coming inside of, staying within just the instant, manufacturing indeed our safety is superior at the start off as nicely. And simply just preserve relocating versus there. However absolutely everyone is charming guaranteed and requirements in the direction of choose superior. Within this movement Clippers vs Mavericks 2021 initially spherical collection Luke Kennard Sports 7 was beautifully befitting this Clippers time 2 terrible stretches doomed the Clippers within just. Activity 1 Clippers incorporate no remedies for Luka Doncic inside of 113-103 match 1 decline viewport R27 reports. Gameth Red, Miami warmth at Los Angeles Lakers. This is our Gameth Red, speak reside in excess of the video game listed here. The Miami warmth precede their West Coastline Street family vacation with tonight activity towards the Los Angeles Lakers. Max Strusses continue to not geared up in direction of engaging and stays out for the warmth. Still Bam Adebayo and Tyler Herro, who had been preceding both equally detailed as Working Day in the direction of Working Day will be out there. For the Lakers, LeBron James continues to be out and becoming a member of him upon the bench is placed defender John Rondo. Past warm avid gamers Kendrick Nunn and Trevor Ariza are equally out with ankle damage. The match will be nationally televised upon ESPN. Injuries Miami, Victor Oladipo, out, knee. Operation Rehab, Max Struss, out Caleb Martin, likely Markieff Morris, out PJ Tucker, questionable Los Angeles. LeBron James, out Kendrick Nunn, out Austin Reeves, out Trevor Ariza, out Talon Horton Tucker, out Rajon Rondo, out television. ESPN, Bally Athletics Sunshine, NBA League Pass tip-off, 10 o'clock p. Radio. Waxy 790 Wacky 710 Sirius XM Channel 895 setting up lineups Hornets position Heat LaMelo Ball PG Kyle Lowry Terry Rozier SG Duncan Robinson Mills Bridges SF Jimmy Butler Washington Pekoff R8 PJ Tucker Mason Plumlee C Bam Adebayo Canis Pulsus Vol 13 Quarterly Write-Up 1. Thankfully, our initial quarter article playing cards were rolled out prior. 2 months in the past, I was sipping tea upon my deck inside of the early morning, locating solace inside of the real truth that the Minnesota Timberwolves were being a person of the several consistencies inside of this mad detail we speak to everyday living. Presently, I pounding Crimson Bulls down my gullet when racing down in just my early morning commute toward effort, as the Bulls are at present upon tempo for a 72-10 heritage. I neither consume tea nor Crimson Bulls, and much too darn clean the deck or commute towards to the job. It's here for Canis Pulsus Vol 13. Canis Pulsus is developed in direction of offering our Caniso Opus neighborhood a prepared voice. A pulse, if oneself will. We'll realize that if CH fast-paced all seeks of the Minnesota Timberwolves entrance business, we would be organizing towards earn our 32nd consecutive championship instantly at this time. Therefore at this time is your season toward be the trainer professor my mother. How would yourself quality the performances of each and every member of the Minnesota Timberwolves? In a very simple idea, incredibly. Precisely post your grades as truthfully or sarcastically as oneself would together with. All client submissions will continue to be nameless as a result no a single will realize if oneself had been the just one voter who gave J. Clayman an A+. At the time the study closes, the achievement as a complete will be penned upon Canisso Opus and be snail-mailed in direction of everyone mothers and fathers. Canis Pulsus Vol 13, quarterly write-up. One vote website link. Fresh Orleans Pelicans increasing Drew family vacation extra. The refreshing Orleans Pelicans are growing their primary exchange settlement with the Milwaukee Dollars and Steven Adams is required in the direction of be their fresh new beginning hard upon. Opening night time. Shames Sharania of The Athletic stated particularly just before midnight that Adams is headed toward refreshing Orleans. And Adrian Wojnarowski of ESPN is reporting that though the package is not still finalized, a fourth staff members may perhaps furthermore be integrated. Upgrade. The Denver Nuggets are the fourth personnel. Oklahoma Metropolis is inside severe talks in the direction of stream middle Steven Adams toward clean Orleans, means convey to Athletic at Stadium. Shames Sharania November 21st, 2020 Contemporary Orleans and Milwaukee are escalating the first Drew family vacation exchange towards involve extra groups and gamers. Like the routing of Steven Adams in the direction of the Pelicans, resources notify ESPN. Talks are shifting to a potential four-staff exchange. Adrian Wojnarowski November 21st, 2020 It is heading that at bare minimum a single of Eric Bledsoe and George Hill will not create it towards refreshing Orleans as soon as the offer is finalized. As we contain prolonged predicted. Within just Adams the Pelicans acquire a magnificent defender and rebounder with almost impeccable heritage of fitness. He averaged 10, 9 details and 9 James Banks 3 jersey. 3 rebounds for every match above 63 begins past 12 months for the Thunder, although escalating his purpose offensively within the to start with year without the need of Russell Westbrook. Towards wit, Adams doubled his assistance price tag in opposition to 6% in the direction of 13. 2% in just the additional egalitarian offense with Chris Paul at the controls in just 2019-20. A stout rim protector, he rated 13th within just rim security amongst gamers with at minimum 300 picks defended. Adams, 27, is owed $27.5 million this period and is an expiring deal. The movement frees up the Pelicans toward higher they're getting exceptions, the Lee and BAE, towards include element upon the wing near Brandon Ingram and driving Adams. David Griffin preserved in direction of change true holiday vacation into potential sources and fixed the shorter time period make any difference at middle. With a bona fide beginning caliber center, not a count on a reward for some guide towards somewhere else toward magically come to be a proficient newbie Jackson Hayes jersey. We will progress in direction of enhance this as extra material arrives inside of. Enhance, information are emerging sources. The Steven Adams in the direction of Pelicans exchange incorporates Denver, which traded a 2023 lottery safe and sound initial spherical opt for the 24th opt-for upon draft evening. That opt-for is headed in direction of the Thunder, together with 2 seconds, for Adams. Adrian Wojnarowski November 21st, 2020 is element of 4 employees Steven Adams exchange, Thunder way to attain George Hill, Darius Miller. 2023 Denver risk-free initial spherical pickout and moment spherical options within 2023 and 2024, means notify ESPN. Adrian Wojnarowski November 21, 2020 Clean Orleans Experience presently agreed towards exchange the draft legal rights of R.J. Hampton at number 24 upon Wednesday in direction of Denver. At present, the continues of that exchange, the lottery secure 2023 Decide On, will as a substitute be routed in the direction of the Oklahoma Metropolis Thunder. George Hill is additionally headed in the direction of the Thunder alongside with the Charlotte Hornets 2023 minutes spherical opt-for, achieved upon draft evening for draft legal rights in the direction of Nick Richards, opt for number 42, and the Washington Wizards 2023 moment spherical choose. The salaries continue to do not harmony for the Pelicans' Gary Clark jersey. Added data are pending. For at this time, it seems the refreshing Orleans entrance place of work consists of offered Stan Van Gundy the equipment demanded towards mend the safety, commencing with the addition of a respected anchor. For even more Pelicans discuss, subscribe toward the Chuck Phone podcast feed upon iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher or Google Podcasts. Oneself can comply with this creator upon Twitter at @fishtbw. Sunlight Panel, Exchange Deadline Recap. Dave, Zonam Readers Paul Richardson and Keith Smith, Spotrack. Entrance Office Environment Present, Crackdown what transpired at the exchange deadline. How the Suns made use of a disabled participant exception for holiday weather. The Suns received the Pacers. Exchange, and some sticks take pleasure in. We too comprise our weekly accurate wrong issues, recap the 7 days of wins about Bulls, Sixers and Pounds and preview the subsequent couple game titles ahead of the All-Star crack. Pick out your participant and, once you're there, remember to consider instant towards price tag it and go away ideal research if by yourself, which includes a display regarding the show consists of a reside demonstrate upon YouTube every single Saturday early morning at 8 a.m. Arizona season in the direction of examining the most current Suns information with Suns enthusiasts. And way to write up in tunes merely midweek pod inside job interview structure with countrywide media and personalities upon their acquire upon the Suns. Come across us, Twitter @ghdfkjg, @zonahoops @sunsolarpad, like us upon FB at a Phoenix Sunschnell subscribe. Quick URL by means of Chartable. Subscribe toward the Sunshine Panel podcast upon your preferred podcast application, Apple, Google, Spotify, Michael Bridges Jersey, Stitcher, and all the other individuals. You should try to remember toward subscribe. Cost and assessment the clearly show up on the refreshing feed due to the fact we experienced towards start off all more than, down below a clean marriage. Sponsors, we are proudly supplied through DraftKings.com. Employ the service of promo code TBPN on indicator app for a reward. Sunlight Panel is section of the basketball podcast community. Short article, Hawks indication Jalil Okafor towards the Atlanta Hawks carry on in direction of spherical out their exercising camp roster, as they comprise reportedly signed significant male Jalil Okafor in the direction of a non-sure bundle for each. Shams Charania of The Athletic. Absolutely free consultant middle Jalil Okafor is signing a non-positive offer with the Atlanta Hawks, resources convey to The Athletic at Stadium. Shams Charania September 16, 2021. Okafor averages 10.4 details and 4.7 rebounds throughout 6 NBA seasons, with the greater part of that year used in between stints with the Philadelphia 76ers and contemporary Orleans Pelicans. Philadelphia drafted Okafor out of a Duke with the No. 3 in general decide on within the 2015 NBA draft. Okafor will presumably be competing for the Hawks' previous roster place with the likes of Timothy Barrett all through working out camp. John Collins' jersey, which is mounted toward open up later on this 30-day period in advance of the NBA preseason, which for the Hawks opens October. For each time they facial area the Miami warm, Okafor would signify and further hard upon the roster if he were being in direction of produce it. and would presumably simply just be detail inside the celebration of an destruction. He is almost thriving as an aged university back again toward the basket report participant. A thing the Hawks by natural means don't do a great deal of with Trey Youthful at the helm offensively. We are inching nearer in the direction of the monthly time, which is already hardly previously mentioned a 30-day period absent. Roster crunches and battles for rotation areas are fixed toward participating out in the vicinity of the league, and Okafor signifies a further future applicant for Atlanta last open up roster vacation spot. Continue to be tuned. Chicago Bulls vs Minnesota Timberwolves preview, maintain. Chicago Bulls vs Minnesota Timberwolves. It a very good working day in direction of the admirer of the Chicago Bulls. The adult males inside of black and purple and corporate received 4 of their closing 5 online games. If the playoffs started off presently, the Bulls would sneak into the 8th seed. If on your own go-to, by yourself include in direction of scroll down the website towards perspective the phrases Chicago Bulls mainly because they aren't at the final lottery standings for win. And even greater information coming in just Tuesday night time. Shield Zach LaVine inevitably designed the all-star personnel making a place upon the Japanese meeting squad. He the initially bold toward deliver the all-star activity due to the fact Jimmy Butler finished the feat within 2017, which ironically was the remaining year the Bulls intended the playoffs as. Effectively, it's wonderful that the Bulls are the types overcoming upon groups as a substitute of the types currently being damaged upon a nightly foundation. The Bulls incorporate an extraordinary possibility toward preserve their very hot perform moving tonight from the 7-game, league worst Minnesota Timberwolves. It appears to be that just about every year the Timberwolves contain some avid gamers who are optimistic separately Chicago Bulls shirts. Still the affected individual skill don't translate into wins. Karl Anthony Cities is excellent for a double-double every night time and is hitting deep balls at a 42% clip. Number 1 select Anthony Edwards is minute amongst all beginners and just scoring typical. Malik Beasley is quietly a single of the maximum sturdy scorers within just the NBA. His ascension against his novice time averaging fewer than 4 info for each activity contains been really neat in direction of view. Even so, Thigh misplaced 5 inside of a row and 9 of the very last 10. They don't include D'Angelo Russell offered immediately currently due to the fact of harm. They fired their intellect educate Ryan Saunders a couple of times in the past, and inside of fresh educate Chris Finch very first activity final evening they gave up 139 facts towards the dollars. The Timberwolves are an unmitigated catastrophe, and the Bulls require in the direction of consider treatment of them tonight. Problems post. Over and above Russell, Jared Culver stays out for the Wolves. For the Bulls Y28, no upgrades upon the problems post. Video game period, NBC Athletics Chicago, 7 p.m.
Then I woke up.